Today, we are talking about how the Iran-Israel conflict affects your crypto investments. It's important to note that there are several key factors at play right now. The first one is certainly the current conflict between Israel and Palestine, specifically Hamas. But also remember that there are two other major conflicts going on right now in the Middle East. One is the war between Israel and Gaza and Hamas, and then secondly, the war between Russia and Ukraine. And thirdly, of course, we have the ongoing conflict between Iran and Israel, which is really more of like a proxy war. You have Iran basically supporting Hezbollah, which is a proxy in Lebanon fighting against Israel. And you also have them supporting Hamas, which is a proxy in Gaza fighting against Israel. And then also, of course, they're supporting various militias in Iraq and in Syria, which also fight against Israel. So what does this all mean for you and your portfolio? Is this something that you need to be concerned about? And if so, how? So let's start by talking about this idea of escalating tensions. As these conflicts continue to escalate, there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. And whenever there's uncertainty, there's a lot of volatility. We've seen this happen with Bitcoin. Bitcoin tends to do well during times of uncertainty because it is a store of value. It's a neutral store of value. It's not tied to any government or any institution. But we've also seen altcoins, especially ones that are tied to certain countries or certain regions, sometimes do very well during times of conflict and other times not do so well. So it really depends on what you're invested in. For example, I'm thinking of a cryptocurrency that is actually used by a country. For example, so this is a cryptocurrency that is used in El Salvador. It's called Bitcoin. And so when El Salvador adopted Bitcoin as legal tender in 2021, this was very big news because it was the first country in the world to do so. And this caused the price of Bitcoin to skyrocket. It went from around $40,000 at the beginning of 2021 to almost $70,000 by the end of 2021. So this was a huge increase in value. However, since then, the price of Bitcoin has been on a downward trend, and it's currently trading around $27,000. So this is significantly lower than its all-time high of almost $70,000. So what does this tell us? Well, it tells us that Bitcoin is still very much influenced by geopolitical events. Even though it is meant to be a neutral store of value, it's not tied to any government or any institution. It's still very much influenced by what's going on in the world around us. Now, I know a lot of you are probably wondering, okay, what about other cryptocurrencies like Cardano, Solana, Polkadot? How are they affected by all this? Well, the good news is that generally speaking, cryptocurrencies tend to do better during times of conflict. This is because cryptocurrencies are seen as a way to protect your wealth during times of economic uncertainty. They're also seen as a way to invest in new technologies and innovation, which can be appealing during times when traditional markets are struggling. Additionally, cryptocurrencies are global assets, and they're not tied to any one country or region. And so, they can offer diversification benefits to investors who are concerned about what's going on in the Middle East or elsewhere in the world. However, it's important to remember that every cryptocurrency is different and will react differently to geopolitical events. So you really need to do your research and understand what you're reinvesting in before you invest your money. So the bottom line is that yes, the current situation in the Middle East is uncertain, and it is likely to cause some volatility in the cryptocurrency market. But overall, I remain bullish on cryptocurrencies long term. I think they're still a great investment and a great way to diversify your portfolio. But you should definitely keep an eye on the news and be prepared to weather some storms along the way. So thank you again for joining me today. Until next time, I wish you all the best in your cryptocurrency journey. God bless you and your family, and I'll see you in our next video.